You are listening to the It's Your Time podcast, and I'm your host, Certified Life Coach Michelle Arnold Bourque. In today's episode, I'm discussing from burnout to boundaries, the mindset shift that helps you thrive in medical sales. Welcome to the It's Your Time podcast, the podcast where busy professionals like you get the practical solutions and support you need to gain control of your schedule so you can strive to be the best in your career, but without the stress and overwhelm. If you're looking to increase your energy and decrease your stress, you are in the right place. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. Okay, I have a fun one for you today. We are talking about burnout. And yes, I am talking to you, my high achieving, highly capable, and maybe dangerously close to highly burnt out friend. Now, listen, if you have ever said, I just have to push through this week, or once this quarter is over, then I'll breathe, but the then never comes, this episode is for you. Because today I want to talk about the burnout cycle. And maybe you are not even aware that you are trapped in it and the surprising mind shift that pulls you out of it. We are going to talk neuroscience. We're going to talk about the let them theory from Mel Robbins, and we will explore tools from cognitive behavioral science, some energy alignment, and how boundaries, yes, boundaries are not just a nice idea. They are a necessity. So let's get started. And I want to start with what burnout looks like, especially in medical device sales. Because in our world, burnout doesn't always look like failure. It can actually look like achievement. So maybe you are crushing your numbers, you are on the back-to-back calls, you're jumping from the OR back into your car, and everyone thinks that you are amazing. But inside, you're tired. Maybe you are resentful. Maybe you are one email away from losing your mind. And here's what most people don't understand. Burnout in high-performing women often hides in plain sight. It can look like feeling emotionally flat even after a win. Maybe having a short fuse with your team or your family. I know that I am really at my edge when I start to get short with the dog. Mark expects it every now and again, but the dog, then I really recognize that something is going on. Or maybe you're constantly thinking, I have no space to think, like thinking bigger picture visions. So from a cognitive behavioral perspective, this happens because of what you believe and how you interpret your circumstances. And I talk about the importance of your thinking all the time here. So if your core belief is, I need to be everything for everyone in order to be valuable, or maybe your flavor is in order to be worthy, insert whatever you tell yourself, then every time that you feel tired or say no or miss something, you interpret that as a threat to your worthiness or your value. And that belief drives the domino thoughts, maybe along the lines of, I can't let anyone down, I need the answer now, if I slow down, I'll fall behind. And those thoughts create stress and anxiety, which drives actions like overcommitting, saying yes to too many things, and ignoring your own needs, which of course leads to what? More burnout. Burnout is not about being weak. It's about living with unchallenged beliefs that no longer serve you. So much of the work that we do here and in coaching is challenging our beliefs, because if we want new results in our life, we have to start thinking differently. So let's talk science for a second here. And don't worry, it'll just be like a second or two because, again, I'm a communications major, not a science major, but the science around this and neuroscience is so much fun for me, so I do want to share it. When you are constantly in overdrive, your brain and body are flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. These stress hormones keep you wired, but not always wise. And over time, you lose access to your prefrontal cortex, that decision-making, problem-solving part of your brain. And you operate from the limbic system where you are not thinking creatively or strategically, you are just reacting. And Joe Dispenza talks about how we become addicted to these emotions, things like survival, stress, urgency, overwhelm, and we start believing that the hustle equals success, that the chaos equals normal, and that slowing down equals laziness. I get it. I have been there, and full transparency, sometimes I still slip back into it. But here's what's different now about it. Now I can see the thinking and I don't make it a fact. It's not what I think is actually the circumstance. I'm able to kind of be the observer of my thinking. And once you are able to do that, once you're able to observe your thinking, then you get to decide, is this useful? Do I want to continue thinking it? And from a cognitive behavioral angle, this creates a negative feedback loop. So your thoughts, I must do it all, create emotions like the pressure and the fear, which lead to the behaviors like the overcommitting. That reinforces the thought, this is just the way it has to be. And around you go. That's why it's so important to be able to take that moment to be able to see that it's thinking. Otherwise, you are just in that crazy cycle. And often that crazy cycle gets rewarded with, guess what? More work, right? Have you ever been voluntold to do something? Yes, through the years. I'm sure you have. I get it. Same here, okay? But what can actually break the cycle? Let's kind of dig into that a little bit. Boundaries. And boundaries are not just about managing your time. They tell your nervous system you are safe. You don't need to be everything to everyone. You do not have to earn rest. You get to feel calm and be powerful. And when you protect your space in your calendar, your mind opens. You see new strategies. You identify better ways to support your providers, and you think more like a leader and less like someone trying to survive. And remember, you are a leader. Title or no title, you lead. And I want you to consider this. What if boundaries create capacity, not conflict? Let's redefine boundaries. I have worked with so many women, and again, same. I had this thought too, that boundaries were more of a conflict. But what if it's actually an opportunity for you to open up more space, for you to create more capacity? Because in the sales world, we are often led to believe that saying yes all the time is the key to being liked, to being respected, and to being needed. But the truth, saying yes to everything waters down your impact. You don't get paid to be busy. You get paid to deliver value. And value requires clarity, presence, and energy. You get paid for results. And when you live without boundaries, your energy leaks all over the place. You become reactive, maybe scattered, depleted. But when you start setting boundaries, you create that white space for innovation, the big picture thinking that I was talking about, being a visionary. You become proactive instead of reactive. You focus on your highest value actions, not just the loudest demands. The highest value actions are the ones that move the needle for you. Those are the ones that increase your sales, that increase your income. And again, from a cognitive behavioral lens, this works because boundaries shift your self-concept. So you stop seeing yourself as a yes woman and start seeing yourself as a leader who makes intentional choices. And this identity shift leads to new beliefs like, I create better outcomes when I protect my energy. I can say no and still be respected. I am allowed to prioritize me without guilt. And those beliefs then influence how you think, feel, and act, which means your external results change as well. And then this brings us to the emotional resistance that you might encounter, the fear of what others will think. And most women know they need better boundaries. You know you cannot keep this pace forever, but you don't act on that knowing. Why? Because of that emotional resistance. You worry, what if people think I'm difficult? What if I lose my edge? What if they talk about me when I'm not around? This is where I bring in something that I absolutely love from Mel Robbins, her let them theory. And if you've ever heard it, it's simple and honestly quite freeing. Let them. If they don't like that you didn't reply instantly, let them. If they think that you've changed, let them. If they complain because you're no longer doing their job and yours, let them. Mel says people are allowed to be who they are. Your job is to be who you are, and you don't have to manage everyone else's opinions. Doesn't that sound freeing? I mean, seriously, think of the energy that you could free up. You don't have to be liked by everyone to lead powerfully. You don't have to over explain or over apologize to be respected. And again, this is cognitive behavioral gold, I will tell you, because when you stop interpreting someone's reaction as evidence that you've done something wrong and start viewing it as their emotional experience, you free yourself from the need to control or fix it. You reclaim your mental energy, which is so important. You reduce anxiety. You strengthen your sense of agency, which is where you own your power. And the more you practice this, the more you become emotionally resilient, which is what allows you to grow, to lead, and to thrive without burning out. And the second part of her let them theory is, and let me. The let me part is where you step into your power. So what might that look like? Let's talk about application, because this is where the shift becomes real. Boundaries aren't just a big fat no. They are often subtle, strategic, and quiet. And here are a few ways that some of my clients and myself have implemented real-world boundaries. Maybe calendar clarity. So blocking time for thinking, for follow-up, or just for catching your breath. Those blocks are sacred. So you let them have their thoughts, and then you let me, which is you, start to implement calendar clarity. Maybe for you, it's morning space. So no emails first thing. Maybe that first hour, or heck, let's just start with the first 30 minutes of your day, right? That is for you to lead yourself. Maybe using not now language is your version of the let me. So try saying, let me check and I'll get back to you. You don't have to own immediate yeses. Maybe another option could be energy filters. So ask yourself weekly, what drains me and what fuels me? Make one small shift. Or maybe it's permission to pause, taking 60 freaking seconds between cases or calls to breathe deeply and to reset your energy. 60 seconds. You definitely have that. And maybe, most importantly, practice believing you are allowed to protect your peace. You don't have to wait for burnout to set boundaries. You have to believe that your well-being matters just as much as your performance. Let me repeat that one for you. Your well-being matters just as much as your performance. Let that land. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yes, I need this, but I don't even know where to start, maybe it's time to get on a clarity call with me. It's simple. In my practice, I love helping women in medical device sales rewire the beliefs that are burning you out, build emotional resilience, create time, space, and systems that support your performance, learn how to protect your peace and your power, and also redefining what success looks and feels like for you and this season of your life. You don't need to hustle harder to earn more. You need clarity, confidence, and boundaries that work with your vision, not against it. So if you are interested, and if this did resonate, I, again, want to invite you to schedule a free 30-minute call with me. No pressure. A space to pause, to reflect, and to create a better way to move forward. We'll talk about what's happening with you now, where it is that you want to get to, what is keeping you stuck, maybe how burnout is showing up for you, and how to just make some small shifts that create big changes. Super simple. Go to michelleburkecoaching.com/connect and schedule a call. Of course, as always, if anything has come up throughout this podcast, feel free to DM me as well. Listen, remember, you do not have to prove your worth. You are already worthy. Let's help you lead like that every single day. Okay, friends, that's what I have for you today. Let's meet back here next week. But for now, make it a great day. Take care. Did you know you can take this work to a deeper level with me one-on-one? Go to michelleburkecoaching.com and click on Get Started to begin.